Hello and welcome to the AssemblyTV studio once again. This is the dance music compo studio and I'm your host Teppo Isperia Suominen. With me here are Anssi-Matti Shadikka Helin, welcome, Arni AKX Koskela, welcome, and Juri Thanos Lustra, welcome to you as well. So, listening music, I actually said dance at the start, yeah, listening,
Yes, you did.
listening, not dance. We did that already. Listening music compo, 12 entries, I think? No, 13.
13.
Yeah, 13 entries. What did you guys think? What did we have this time?
A lot of the usual epic stuff, like a fantasy movie soundtrack, stuff like that. Then a couple of definite outliers, mostly in a good way.
Definitely.
But we'll get to those in a moment.
Yeah. I think it was overall quite easy to pick out your personal favorites this time.
What about you?
Yeah, I think the level was pretty good. Not exactly as good as with the dance compo, I think. And some songs that were not exactly my cup of tea, but good stuff anyway.
Yeah. We had some weird entries here, maybe not so much listening music as, I don't know, movie soundtracks. We discussed this a bit while we were listening. It kind of felt like we were listening to, well, like some of the songs were actually a whole movie in one song, and it's just the soundtrack spliced into one song.
Yeah. Then we had the basically almost Gregorian chant there, and
Yeah, that was interesting.
metalcore, and a couple of songs that are very hard to even specify.
Space reggae.
Yeah,
Space reggae. And then one humor entry, of course.
Yes,
Yeah.
always
Not
that
that,
one.
not that funny this time around, to my eye, but for each their own, I suppose.
Yeah.
Overall, very varied compo, all
Absolutely.
kinds of stuff. Any big favorites? You said that your own favorites were easy to pick. Yuri, how about you guys? Did you find what you liked already?
Well, I was looking at these other guys. Everyone was headbanging with the metal songs, and I really wasn't. It's not my cup of tea. I like the more epic orchestral stuff. I mean,
I guess personally I like the fusion of chiptune and nice bass guitar backing we had in a song I guess we'll be discussing in detail soon.
Actually, let's head on to that discussion right now. So our first pick for the studio was number 5, Chips of Steel.
Yeah, exactly the one I was actually talking about.
Yeah, I figured we could actually...
it was a very, very refreshing change after the...
We've got the clip here.
Yeah, thank you.
A very interesting song there with the chipsets and more of a heavy, well, not heavy, but metal style thing done in there. Personally, I really like this song. It really pushed all my buttons, and I noticed that you were kind of like head banging and throwing your fist in the air next to me, so it clicked for you as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And not only was the sound very enjoyable and the whole general idea of the song, but also the structure. It was structurally very classic, which has been proven to work for ages now.
Definitely.
With the normal A, B, C, B, so on structure.
I think the song actually had a modulation in it as well.
Oh, yeah.
Towards the end, it was ABC bridge modulation.
Yes.
A again.
Yes.
yeah, I was reminded of like some old tracker songs from the 90s. Somehow, I'm not sure what it was exactly that reminded me of those.
Yeah. this kind of actually made me hope for a band that would do chiptune power metal. Just think of it, it would be just, come on.
Well, let's say that if they chose just another chipset, it would sound like Machine Supremacy.
True.
And that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, true that.
I have to agree with Masa that this song, actually, now that you mention it, really brings to my mind a couple of songs from Machine Supremacy in a really good way. Like you also said, this song is structurally really good. I really like the melodies in it. If I were to nitpick, then I would say that maybe the sounds could do a bit of fine-tuning, maybe crisp up it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the adjective for it is, but
Yeah, they were a little muffled at the
Yeah.
top end.
Yeah.
So
that's maybe
And
the
now,
only thing.
now that you've said it, I can't get it out of my head. This is like something out of Redeemer or
Yeah.
Overworld or one
Or
of the
even,
older
even the
albums.
Sidology songs. And also, didn't you mention about the chip lead, that the sound could have used a bit
Oh
fine-tuning?
yeah. It could have been a lot. I don't know, sharper. It was kind of
Yeah.
muffled now
Yeah.
with it had the edge broken off. I really would have hoped for a clearer, sharper sound there, but still a very good song. Probably a personal favorite of mine out of this compo.
Yeah, mine as well.
Okay, our next studio pick was
my.
number 6, Conventus Cantio.
Oh, boy.
Something a bit different.
It was something.
It was something
quite
all right.
something.
This piano here at the start, it's nice, although I don't know how if it's actually recorded, because it sounds like it's muffled a bit, like the microphone is inside the piano box or something. But and then there's the vocals.
Yeah.
So, practically an acoustic, fully fledged Gregorian. I don't even know what this should be called.
Well, not quite a chant, but
Yeah,
close.
it's not a chant because it's got
Chanting.
instruments, but
This was probably the biggest surprise, at least
Yeah.
for me,
Yeah.
out of the whole
Yes.
bunch.
in my years of doing assembly and doing the assembly listening music, I don't remember having this big of a "what am I listening to" moment in the audience when the chant begins, and I'm like, wait, what? That's Latin? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
Latin.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
And with the,
Yeah.
it was actually done really well
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
around.
It's
Technically, it's really great.
Yeah, it's the violins are done beautifully. The piano is done beautifully. The vocalist, that voice, so clear. It's crisp. It's like an opera singer.
Yeah, I'm surprised if he doesn't actually have some sort of classical vocal training. because
I would be very
he really
surprised as
sounds
well.
like that, in a good way.
Yeah, but the most different entry in listening music in years.
Yeah.
Maybe not a crowd pleaser, but something that was worth hearing in the audience.
Well, all techniques allowed.
All techniques allowed. And for what it's worth, it did blow me away. It was not something I was expecting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, our next pick for the studio was number 9, Dragons, Definitely Dragons.
This was probably my second favorite of the whole bunch.
Yeah, same
Besides
here.
the number 5 we already discussed.
Yeah.
We also discussed this with Arni already briefly, and we agreed that this was probably technically the most.
Accomplished.
I think.
This, especially this first part, reminds me of like Trine or one of those new fantasy game
Yeah.
soundtracks.
Yeah.
But it went pretty far from there. It really went to places.
I love it how it goes completely Star Wars at this point.
Yeah.
Like this was one of those songs where we actually discussed that this is a whole movie that we would like to see because it kind of takes us from scene to scene, and the transitions are done so smoothly. It's beautifully done, like you said.
Yeah.
And we also discussed that this is kind of a medley of, if not outright songs, but at least definitely influenced by very many different epic or otherwise well-known pieces. Like the violin just a moment ago was like straight out of Vivaldi's Winter.
And overall, this song is kind of, well, it reminds us, or at least me, of these really well-known movie soundtrack composers. It's got a bit of Zimmer, it's got a bit of Anselman, it's got a bit of epic sound style in it. A touch of everything there.
Technically speaking, I especially like how the horns, all the brass instruments, they sound decidedly real, which is not all that common, really.
Yeah.
But overall, this and the next, which was another one of these epic movie type songs, very classic assembly listening music compo entries. But we discussed this while we were at the audience, that maybe it's not the thing that we were hoping for so much, even though they're really epic. It's not really listening music as such. It's something kind of different. But what are your feelings on it? What should listening music compo? What are you expecting when you go to the audience? Because this time we got a lot of everything. But what do you want from it?
That's a really good question, considering that as the split currently goes, listening music takes in everything that's not in dance music.
Yeah.
So, I mean, by definition, it maybe could be like stuff you really wouldn't want to dance to all that much, even though there were a couple of songs that you definitely could dance to this time. Also, the introduction says something about creating a soundscape, and that's what these epic songs do really well.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd be interested in hearing some pop, jazz, something completely different. I mean, I've seen these orchestral songs or heard them.
Yeah, we've had funk some years, but this year not so much.
Hey, we had laser reggae.
Yeah, space
But
reggae.
we did have space reggae, but space reggae went really dark. Like, okay, space reggae, this is fun. Wait, no, this is not fun.
Yeah.
Didn't we have that one song that was kind of James Bond?
Oh, yes, number 7.
The Spy That Wrote Me a Song. Yeah.
That was actually
It was
pretty fun as well.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, fun is a good word for it. It can't stop now. It was interesting as a showpiece. Like, I think it was you that said that it's kind of like a pitch for the new Minion movie soundtrack. And you had written down that it's like a James Bond children's heist.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, listening music as a compo just makes me wonder every year, what is it that we want from it? Because, of course, a bit of how we and the other people here at the party vote will possibly change what we'll be getting. But I think everybody has a bit of a different expectation going into the listening music combo of what you want and what you'll be having.
Yeah.
And it makes the combo a bit of a hodgepodge. It's really hard to measure as a totality.
Yeah.
It's hard to have objective criteria when you have, well, space reggae, epic soundtrack stuff, and grime, and the Gregorian chant in the same combo.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's kind of like Real Wild in that sense.
It's the new real wild.
Yeah.
We luckily we have that still. But on this year's listening music compo, any closing comments here? in the studio?
Well, at least I do have one. Dear artist of song number 1, the intro, please make the actual song. It sounded pretty good, but you know, it kind of fell short without having anything to be an intro to.
It was a good intro, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
but it did. I have to agree. It did leave me wanting to hear the song that it's an intro to.
yeah. But yeah, technically, really good stuff. I mean, these people are professionals. You can hear it.
It's definitely there.
Maybe for the guy who made the Chips of Steel, if there's more of that stuff, I would like to know about it.
Please send your album.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me for this discussion, and thanks for listening. Thanks for all of the comments. Let's hope we get an as interesting listening compo next year. And everybody at home, thanks to you as well. We'll be continuing for the rest of the evening with other compos, but for now, AssemblyTV out.